let's get it unboxed here. So there's another box in here. It's probably the scope rings. Let's open those first. So yeah, a couple scope mounts, and then it looks like a Allen key in there with them. So we'll get those on in a bit. And then here is the scope. Looks like there might be some instructions with it. Also get a lens cleaning cloth, a warranty, 1 year it looks like. And that does have UUQ's information on it. Here is the manual. I'll kind of read a lot of this afterwards off camera, but just kind of want to show you guys what it is. So here is the scope itself. I always like to kind of just look over everything to see if I see any blemishes or like real noticeable imperfections. This is a 3 to 9 by 40, so that means that your magnification starts at 3. It can go all the way up to 9. 3 to 9 by 40 is just a really good overall hunting scope. It can be used for almost anything. And then the 40 is the size of your lens up here, the objective lens. It does have some lens covers on it. They're pop-up, spring-loaded. Those actually are fairly nice. It's a really thick, real thick, durable plastic on those. That's a pretty high-quality plastic. They actually have a really soft feel. They almost feel like rubber, but I know it's plastic, but it does feel good. Let me pull this off and see if that's threaded. It is threaded, so you can put a sunshade on there if you would want to. We'll pull this one off, and then you can make adjustments, like if it's blurry at whatever your distance is, you can turn this. Looks like the turrets are covered. Those are super smooth. No gritty or grinding. We'll take this one all the way off and see what that looks like. See if they're toolless. Yeah, so completely toolless. Nice positive clicks. Well, we got a quarter inch at 100 yards. So the anodization seems really good all the way around it. I will say that this here is definitely crooked to me. That should be straight up and down, and that's obviously going at a tilt. The rest of it, like this here, looks like that's nicely centered. Everything else looks really good except for that, which that obviously doesn't affect anything. It's just kind of like a branding type thing or whatever, but that looks odd. So a few features: it is O-ring sealed, and then the reticle is nitrogen filled. So it gives you a waterproof, fog proof, and then obviously it's shock proof. So this should handle the recoil of basically anything that you would put it on. So on the box, it said that this was a purple rifle scope, and that's actually this lens here. I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera, but there's like a purple coating. In fact, I think that there's multiple layers. It's almost like a AR coating, like the anti-reflective coating. And they claim that this purple color allows for a lot more light transmission. And therefore, when you're looking through this way, it'll make things a whole lot clearer for you, or brighter, however you want to look at it. So the overall length is not quite 12.5 inches. We know that it has a 40 millimeter lens, but the overall width is 1 3/4 of an inch. Basically, it's a 1-inch tube on it, so it's standard on that. And with the scope mounts and the lens covers, you're sitting at 17.6 ounces. So this never turns out right with the iPhone camera, but I'm trying to give you guys an idea of what this kind of looks like through it. Right now, I'm just on the 3 power, I'm going to pull it away to, that's a little bit better. So let me change the zoom. We'll go all the way up to 9. Yeah, it's very difficult to hold this at the right distance from the iPhone camera, but hopefully that gives you guys an idea of what that looks like. All right, so next up we'll get it mounted up and get out to the range with it and make sure there aren't any issues and see what it looks like actually shooting it. I am sure that most of you know that when you're putting your mounts on, that it's always best. I made this mistake one time. It's always best to put this on your rail first. I made the mistake and put this on my rifle, did both of them, and then I went to put it on the rifle and they wouldn't line up with my rail slots. And then I had to unloosen the things and then slide this to where it would. I almost always put the rear mount all the way to the back. And like here, I have the front one all the way to the front, and this would work. However, it doesn't give me any room if I do need to adjust that. So what I'll do instead is I'll move this maybe 1 or 2 rail slots over, and that'll allow me to slide the scope as far up and down as I need to. So as you can see, I came 2 slots over, and now I can slide this quite a bit if I need to make adjustments for my eye relief. So when putting the scope onto the rings or the mounts, they do make a tool that basically shows you when you're level. That way, like your crosshairs are actually level. Like you can blatantly see that that would be like wrong like that. What I typically will do is I have a couple brick walls inside of my house that I know that the walls are actually level, and the lines on the brick I will line up with the crosshairs or the reticle on that, and that gets me pretty close, and that's usually good enough for me. All right, so this spot here seems to be pretty decent for me for my eye relief. As you can see, I could still come back almost another full inch, and I still have a little bit room that I could go forward, but I think this is going to work pretty well right there for me. All right, guys, out at the range here this morning with that UUQ 3 to 9x40 scope. Got my target set up 50 yards downrange there. I'll kind of see with that purple lens coating if it makes any difference out here. Right now, the sun has actually not come over these trees yet, so it's still fairly dark. I know that they claim that that lens is supposed to help with light transmission, so we'll kind of see what that's all about. So after those first few shots, I'm probably 4 inches to the right and probably 4 or 5 inches low. So I'm going to make some adjustments here. Now it says it's 1/4 inch at 100 yards. I'm only shooting at 50 yards. So at 100 yards, it would be like basically, what is that? 16 clicks. So I'm only going to do 8 clicks, and we'll kind of see where we're at from there. But if I need to go up, it's telling me to go this direction. So that was my 8 clicks, and I need to come back left. So it says this way. All right, let's see where we're at. All right, guys, I'm back from the range. Share some thoughts on the UUQ scope here. First thought is the glass is very clear on it. No issues whatsoever with that. The etching of the reticle was very clear and bold. I've had other scopes where the reticle almost looks like the machine that does the etching on the glass, like either misses some spots or doesn't lay it down as thick or however they do it. But this here looked uniform, basically across, left, right, up, down. Very easy to make your elevation and windage adjustments. No tools required. The clicks are audible and tactile or palpable. The lens caps pop up easily. Again, like I said earlier, spring loaded. They seem like they're pretty decent quality, actually. You do need to remove the rear one if you need to make any diopter adjustments, like if there's any type of blurriness or anything. So I'm recording this here on Wednesday, August 9th, and these scopes right now are $32.21, and there's a 5% off coupon, bringing them down to under $31. That's a pretty incredible deal on these. The scope itself is really decent. They include the mounts, include the lens caps. Outside of having that crooked logo right there, I really don't have any other complaints with it. I think, overall, it's a pretty decent scope, especially for 30 some dollars. So I will leave an Amazon link for this in the video description. If you click on it and go to it, it will say in the description that it's for an air rifle. And oftentimes manufacturers will do that because Amazon gets all crazy funny if they say that it's for like an AR-15 or some type of actual rifle. But when you read the description, it basically says that's for shotguns, it's for muzzle loaders, it's for rifles. So it can be used really for anything. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.